Okay, we're totally skipping number 1 because we didn't do algebra tiles. Nobody likes that. The following expressions that simplify, guys, it's just the distributive property. So you're just trying to find the ones expressions that simplify to negative 15a plus 30. Like, for example, we know it's not the first one because a negative times a negative is a positive, so definitely not a. The second one looks like it works. That's going to give me a negative 15 and a positive 30, so B is definitely one of the solutions. The same with C, negative 15 and negative, nope, never mind, because a negative times a positive is a negative, so that's not a thing. And the last one works, yeah, because you get negative 15 and positive 30, so B and D are the solutions to number 2. Number 3, you're finding the area of the rectangle, which we of course know is length times width. That is a W. Let's try that again. Length times width. So it's just the distributor property. You're going to do 2.5 times 9.6x plus 7. So using the distributive property, this out a minute ago, where'd it go? Right, so you're going to get 24x plus 17.5. So that is the expression for the area, and they didn't give us units, of course not. Number 4, this is a multi-step equation. So I can see I have like terms, so I'm going to go ahead and combine those. 6.4 and 3, that's 9.4n. And then I have my constants, negative 1.2 plus 8.2 is what, 6, which is going to give you 19.22. So if I subtract, that's going to give me 9.4 and what, 13.22? No. First of all, that's wrong. That's a 7. That's a 7. I can add. Not today. That's 7. So that's a 7. Yes, that's a 7. And that's an N. And that's 12.22. Let me just start over on that line. All right, 9.4 N and 12.22. And then, of course, you're going to divide both sides by 9.4, which is going to give you the solution of 1.3. All right, number 5, which value makes the equation true? Again, this is a multi-step. This time we have the distributive property. Everybody loves the distributive property. 18 plus. That's going to give me 6p minus 16 is negative 37. This time I have like terms here. My constants are like. So that's going to give me 6p plus 2 is negative 37. So that's going to give me 6p if I subtract 2 from both sides. Oops. That's going to be negative, what, 39? Yep. So that's going to, if I divide both sides by 6, that's going to give me negative 6.5. So the solution is B. Number 6 is an equation with variables on both sides. Remember, you just want to go pick a way and go that way. So I'm going to add 12. I get negative 38 is 18x and 52. And you're going to add 38. So I get 18x is, what's that, 90? I'm going to divide by 18. And you get 5. So x equals 5 is the solution to that one. 7. Solving this equation. This is another distributive property problem. Yay, the distributive property. We got what? 24x plus 40. And then negative 6x minus 5. And then really it's just like the last equation because you have variables on both sides. So you're going to add 6 to both sides first. So that's going to give you 30x plus 40 is negative 5. And now it's a two-step equation. Subtract 40, which gives us what? 30x is negative 45. And that reduces to what? X is negative 3/2 or negative 1.5. That's a 5. Okay, so last straightforward one yet, number 8 here. We're going to use the distributive property again. All right, so what do we get? We get 11 plus, that's going to be 3w minus 4, and negative 25 minus 5w. I'm going to combine these two so that I get 7 plus 3w is negative 25 minus 5w. Gonna add 5. So I get 7 plus 8w is negative 25. So I would subtract 7. So that's going to be negative 32. Yep. So 8w is negative 32. And then when I divide by 8, all right, I'm going to divide both sides by 8. Oh, that is not a nice pen color. I get negative 4. So that's number 8. Okay, now number 9. Sure. So Lee uses 8.4 grams of sugar in her tea, right? It gives us that information. And we know that she starts with 128 grams. And Sue uses 12.6. And she starts with 191. And you just want to see where they're the same. And we know same means equal. So for Lee, let's see, she started at 128. And then if she uses 8.4 grams per day, we want that to be equal to Sue's 191 grams when she uses 12.6 grams a day. And there's our equation. So we're going to add 12.6 to both sides. Plus 12.6. So that's going to be what? 4. Oh, I forgot my D. There we go. Is that 4.2? Yep. 4.2D. I forgot my 128. That's kind of important. And equals 191. And I'm going to subtract 128. And I'm left with 4.2. And that equals 63. And so I divide by 4.2. I get that they're going to have an equivalent amount in 15 days. And then number 10, the perimeter. Ooh, this is a fun one. Okay, yay, geometry. So the perimeter of the square and the equilateral triangle are equal. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the square. We know that a square has all equal sides. So that's going to be 2x 4 times. So the perimeter here is going to be 8x. This one's a little more complicated because it is an algebraic expression. Oops. Well, I don't know what I'm writing there. Let's fix that. My brain's getting ahead of my hands. So I have 3x minus 1.5. I have 3 of those. So, I mean, you can go ahead and do the distributive property. You get 9x minus, what is that? 4.5? Yes. So it's saying they're equal. So 8x equals 9x minus 4.5. So if I were to solve that, subtract none from both sides. That's going to be negative x is negative 4.5, or x is 4.5. Okay, so let's look at the options they give us. So it's asking which ones are not true about the statement. The value of x is 4.5. That's not it. The perimeter of each figure is 36. So, I mean, you could just plug this back in. Like do 8 times 4.5. And that's definitely 36. So that's true. Each side of the square is 6. That's actually going to be your not true one, because the triangle would have to be 12, right? Because 12 3 times. If each side of the square was 6, then that would give you your perimeter of 24. So C is the correct answer for number 10.